Hey, what's up, film togs? The Eric from the Eric Street Photography blog. So, I want to just give you guys some film photography tips and also to preview the new Eric Kim strap, which is actually really cool. So, if you could see here, it just loops on pretty easily. So, thanks to my buddy Matt, who inspired me to actually make this strap with Cindy. And the reason why the Eric Kim strap is going to be awesome is that it's all black, aka murdered out, and all black everything, like my clothes, is generally way cooler. And also you could put it on your strap, but here, and obviously you could see that I trust my $5,000 camera to just hang around it, so shit is solid. But anyways, so the biggest misconception people have about shooting films, they try to shoot everything wide open at like f2. I think the thing that's ruined photography is the most is this obsession with bokeh and shooting everything at f2. In reality, if you want to improve your photography, I recommend shooting everything at f8. So generally what I do is I keep my lens pre-focused at about 1.2 meters, and I generally shoot nowadays ISO 400 film. So you could just adjust this thing here to keep it at 400. And what I do is when I'm shooting, all I do is I'll adjust the focus like so, and I won't touch the aperture, so the aperture stays at f8. All I do is use my forefinger to change the shutter speed. So sample settings that I use: bright sunny day, f8, thousandth of a second, easy. If you're shooting outdoors in the shade, keep it at about 60th of a second or even 1/25th of a second. If you're shooting during sunrise or sunset, 250th of a second is good. Or if you're shooting, actually no, just remember those. So 1000th of a second, really bright, 250th of a second, where it's kind of like and on cloudy days, 500th of a second is actually pretty good. And so when I'm out shooting street photography, I'm not always just dicking around with my aperture. All I do is I use my finger here, and the tip is if this focusing tab is dead center, you know you're pre-focused to about 1.2 meters, and at f8 you could see everything from about 5 meters all the way up to 1.5 meters is going to be in focus. And you could see that, let's say if I pre-focus to about 5 meters here, at f8, everything from infinity, aka everything that's really, really far away, and also if you just follow that line, to 5 meters, 2 meters is in focus. So all you have to remember is when you're shooting street, tab in the center, medium distance, 1.2 meters. You know 1.2 meters because it's a distance of about 2 arm lengths away. 45 degrees to the right, far distance, aka anything that's far from you. 45 degrees to the left is close distance, aka usually on the Leica, the minimum focusing distance is about 0.7 meters. Easy way to remember that is just 1 arm length away. So generally I keep my camera, and this is a 35mm lens, I keep it pre-focused at about 1.2 meters. So when I'm out shooting, all I'm doing is adjusting this tab here based on how far my subject is. So if somebody is going to be 2 arm lengths away from me, I don't bring up my camera to my eye and try to focus. Rather, I just quickly bring it up and click, click, click. And generally, when you're out shooting street photography, my practical suggestion is be more picky about what you decide to photograph. However, once you see a good scene, shoot the shit out of it. So for example, 35mm film generally has about 36 shots a roll. I'll walk around for 8 hours, see nothing interesting, and then see one person or scene that's interesting to me, and I'll shoot 36 photos of the same scene or the same person, because you'll never see that moment again, and I don't mind spending the money to capture the good moment. And think about it this way, are you willing to spend $10 to capture your next ultimate portfolio worthy photo? For me, it's worth it. In terms of film recommendations, I currently have Kodak Portra 400. It's my favorite color film. If you're on a budget, just get Kodak Gold 400, or even pick up, like, I think Fujifilm has a cheap film. It's like C200, ISO 200 film. It's pretty cheap. I generally prefer Kodak because the colors are warmer, which means the colors are more red, yellow, orange, and the photos feel warmer. Like, it makes your heart feel warmer, and they look better for skin tones. Fujifilm is a lot cooler, so it exaggerates the blues, the greens, the purples, cyan, and I guess maybe that's good for like nature, maybe. But to be frank, I don't really like Fujifilm. I much prefer Kodak. And for black and white film, I personally use Kodak Tri-X 400, or check out Japan Camera Hunter's Street Pan 400 film. And it's nice because Kodak don't need no more money. Give them money to Bellamy Hunt, aka JapanCameraHunter.com. And instead of buying your film, I used to buy my film on bnhphoto.com or Amazon. Now I want to support my buddy Vishal. He runs camerafilmphoto.com. Get for him because I ain't about giving money to big corporations no more. I want to help my buddies. And I'm sure you do too. Also, practical tips when you're shooting street photography. Always just keep your camera cocked. So right now, my camera is already cocked. So if I want to hit the shutter, I could already hit the shutter. And so if I'm in the backyard right now, so I'm looking around. If I see a nice background, a scene, and I make a photograph, click, rewind the shutter. Oh yeah, that's the best. It's like shooting with a film camera and then rewinding the lever. It almost feels like sex. This is our secret. Shooting film will not make you a better photographer, but what it will do for you is that it'll help slow you down. And by slowing you down, you just appreciate the art of photography more. So honestly, it's a fucking pain in the ass to get film developed, processed, scanned, blah, 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 blah. But your photos and your camera and your artistry, it doesn't feel so disposable. Like, I mean, I'm a huge fan of shooting with the iPhone. I think it's amazing. But for me, when I shoot with my phone, I don't appreciate it as much. I just click, and then there's no soul, emotion, personality that goes through it. So once again, like, I have a lot of photos that I shot on film that they're actually not that good photos, but I just like them more because they're shot on film, and aesthetically, and this is I think this is a fact. Aesthetically, film photos will always look better than digital photos because film is organic. Generally, what's organic, like nature, like trees, to me, a real tree is always going to be more beautiful than a digital tree, no matter how well someone can model in 3D. And I think as human beings, we have something called, I think it's called biophilia, or biophilia, that bio being biology or nature, philia means to love. We just love nature for the sake of it. There's something in our human DNA. So that's why I think film looks better than digital. And even most great film presets and companies, like I'm a huge fan of Visco, VSCO, their film simulates the look of film. And I know one of my buddies who does all the film simulations, Zach, he loves film photography, he loves digital photography, and he just wants to make your photos look more dope. And yeah, like that's the biggest tips I think for now I'll give you guys on street photography and photography in general. And obviously, if you're shooting indoors, always shoot wide open. So whatever your maximum aperture is, so f2 or 2.8, whatever it may be. And then generally when I'm shooting indoors, I'm usually shooting like 15th of a second, which be careful, it could be unsteady. or 30th of a second, or even use a flash. The flash I usually use on my camera is the Leica SF20, but now I shoot with a 24 Leica SF24D. And thanks so much to my buddy Mikhail for donating it to me, because I actually got my old flash stolen in Paris. But just get it used on eBay. It's a pretty good. Oh, I see a squirrel on a tree. All right, just took a photo. Oops, wrong settings. Okay. So what else? Okay, other film photography tips. Always better to overexpose film than underexpose film, because it's opposite from digital. Digital, if you're shooting raw, it's better to underexpose than to overexpose, because in digital you can't bring back highlights. In film, the highlights go on forever. So I've taken photos where it's about 5 stops overexposed, so it's really, really bright. I scan the film, and in Photoshop, I just drag the exposure of the highlight slider all the way to the left, and all the details there. But if you underexpose film, there's going to be no detail in the shadows. So always that. And yeah, that's it. If you want to learn more about film photography, pick up a copy of Film Notes. I don't have a copy on me. I forgot. Just Google Eric Kim Film Notes and just pick it on the blog, or go to ericKimphotography.com/blog. Click the store link and pick up Film Notes, or I'll include a link in the description below. And oh, and yeah, really exciting. Henri strap is going to die because we have the new improved Eric Kim strap, which is a beautiful work of art, all murdered out. Feels amazing on your wrist. And also, I promote my own stuff, and this is an advertisement. It's fucking solid. Okay, peace out.